and to be paying attention to the presentation that is going to happen for you guys. So, and we are recording. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of turn the time over to each one of our presenters and let them kind of have a little spiel getting started, but we're going to have Leslie kind of kick off this call. So Leslie, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love also how it says presenter, like Team Beachbody. We commandeered their Zoom for today. So thank you guys for being on. We're so excited to talk to you guys about this topic, which is actually what made us think, like, we want to do this on Zoom. We were chatting the other day and we were all bouncing back and forth. And we thought, this is how we want to present this to you guys, because there are so many different ways to build a successful organization. So we really want you to hear from all of us. So we're going to cover, I called it how to build a solid Star Diamond team, but we're really going to cover how to get your own diamond business flourishing, how to help your coaches that are in your business that are builders and really want to begin to run. And we're also going to cover all that fun stuff like volume and placement and more. So I've been a coach for 5 years now. It's crazy to think that it's been that long, but it's a business that I was slow to start. I didn't really have anyone building above me, so I have literally built both legs, and I'm in a situation now where I have even volume in my left and my right leg. And I think you'll hear stories where Brigitte and Shay, we're all a little bit different in terms of, you know, where we're placed and how we've built, but we've all been successful. So there's not exactly one right way, but that's a little bit about my story, and we'll be talking more about that as we go along.
I love it. Shay, any opening thoughts you wanted to?
Well, first of all, thank you guys all for being on this call. These, I've been really impressed, and I have to say, I have learned a lot from this 15-star group this month. I think by far, hands down, this has been the best group I have ever been a part of. And just the energy and the excitement and working with the willing has made such a difference. And that is one of the things I want to touch on today, is working with the willing and some perspectives, because so often I will hear coaches say, I can't find leaders, or I'm not a good leader. And one of the things I want to circle back to after Brigitte speaks is the perspective and what it takes ratio-wise to find leaders. And I think it will really surprise you. So that, and the reason why I want to do that is I don't want you guys to think defeated if your team is not where you want it to be. I'm going to create a perspective that will really empower you to build your business and use people's strengths to really help get you there. So Brigitte, I'll hit it back to you.
I love it. Thank you. Okay, guys, first thing that we want to address, that as we were collaborating together for this call, is right off the bat, we want to splash the idea that you're building for rank or you're building for volume. So initially, I signed up as a coach and I heard this debate a lot. You know, people saying, well, I don't care about walking across stage. Like, if I can pay for the bills and get my husband home from a career or whatever, that is so much more important to me. And I'm going to tell you, because that is important to you. And we're going to make sure everyone is muted. Okay. Because that is important to you, I'm going to tell you that it's most important for you to recognize that you want your team to succeed. So if you have signed up 15 people on your team, why would you not say, I want to be a 15-star diamond coach? Like, I'm not going to, I know the organization and your placement may be different, and everyone has different scenarios and where they joined up on the business, if they have a power leg or whatnot. But it is kind of ridiculous for you to say, my highest goal that I ever want to achieve is 2-star. It's like saying you only have 2 people that you know of who join your business that you want to succeed. And to me, that is extremely selfish. That doesn't make any sense to say you don't want your coaches to succeed, right? So the other thing with this is what you'll notice, and Leslie had such a great way of putting this the other day, is that it goes rank, volume, rank, volume. Like, volume follows rank. And the other thing with that is I have talked to Beachbody Corporate, and they've shown me who the top 10 earners are in this network. And I'll tell you guys, they're all 15-star diamond coaches. And that's going off of weekly income, not total income, just saying, oh, they got a big bonus and that bumped them up. Oh, this is weekly income. They're earning hands down the most money. So, tell yourself right now, get rid of the excuse, because I'm going to push back and say, if you don't have the goal to be 15 stars because you don't think you can, and so you're saying, oh, I don't want to because you don't think it's a possibility, and you're thinking for some reason it's easier to be 5-star in 3 business centers, which is not the case, and you're not going to earn the same amount of money being a 5-star in 3 business centers as you are in a 15-star business center. So anything like push back on that, I'm just going to tell you right now, you do want to push, use that word lightly, your coaches to be successful and to getting to diamond. So starting off, we wanted to kind of share with you that, now you're in this leadership role, you're helping your coaches advance to diamond. And so it's really important that as a leader, as you're working with your coaches, you're sharing with them the strategies of getting to diamond. And Leslie, I thought you had an interesting point yesterday, or when we were chatting the other day, on what it took for you to get to diamond. Do you mind kind of jumping in and sharing what it looked like for you?
Yeah, I was one of those coaches. It took me a while. It took me 5 months to hit emerald. And it took me 15 months to hit diamond. I didn't do it fast. And I really had no idea what I was doing. I kind of taught myself the business. So it took me a while. But like literally when I hit diamond, I had 20 plus coaches on my team. And it took me that long to be able to find, 2 builders that wanted to do what I was doing. And the crazy thing is, they're not even emerald or diamond coaches on my team. They're not. Those coaches
builders.
Yeah, they were long-term builders.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Did they tell you that they wanted to go diamond though?
No.
No, they didn't? Okay.
No.
I was just going to say, you're going to hear from a lot of your team that I want to go diamond, want to do big with this, but, that doesn't necessarily always mean that that's going to be exactly what happens. So Shay, tell us your little, I loved your quote on bringing back the dead versus.
Yes. So one of the mistakes I made, I will tell you, I went diamond quickly, but I basically just filled the holes. I wasn't looking for builders. I was looking for warm bodies to stick in the holes because I wanted a trip to the Bahamas. None of the people from my original diamond are no longer part of my team. Not one. Who you start this business with is probably not going to be who you carry through with this business. And so one of the mistakes I made as I was recruiting, so I did not have a working coach until I think 9 or 10 months into the business. It was just discount coaches, people that love Shakeology that I converted. So one of the mistakes I made is I was recruiting people and I was sitting there waiting for them to grow, waiting for them to have an aha moment, hoping they would do something that I saw a vision in that they didn't see. And the message that I want to send to you guys is that it's much easier to give birth than to resurrect the dead. Move on, because you will sit there waiting for someone to have an aha moment, and people that want it will give birth and will go with it. And so don't waste time sitting there as leaders thinking, gosh, I'm not a good leader. Nobody wants to work this business. There's one thing that I remember Christina Delgado taught me. The answer to every problem in this business is 3 things, 3 words: find more people. Any problem you have in this business, you can answer with those 3 words: find more people. So don't question your leadership. Find more people. It's much easier to give birth than resurrect the dead, and you will waste your energy on it. One of the things that did help me in the beginning was we had Team Cup. And so I started in July and we had our Team Cup in February. And I didn't have anybody on my team that wanted to be a part of it. I felt like the biggest loser. Nobody on my team page responded. I looked around. I'm like, does anybody want to be on a Team Cup with me? And nobody did. So I ended up getting, I guess, kind of ever see the Bad News Bears? We were this rookie team I got coaches from around the network that weren't picked. And I'm like, that's fine. And so my point is, act as if you have a team to lead. So even if you don't have any working coaches, take advantage of every opportunity to act as if you had a thriving team of people and use that leadership experience as like training wheels on a bike. Like, you know what, they're not my people, but I'm going to practice with them as if they were mine, because then you will become the leader that you want to be and start attracting those kinds of people. So use every opportunity you can to be the leader you want to be, even if you don't have people of your own.
Well, I'm going to kind of interject there too, because one of the things I think for each one of you guys as you're moving to this next level is to share your passion, share your excitement of why you're doing this in your team pages, even if you only have discount coaches. Like several of my diamonds, several of my star diamonds, in fact, one of my highest earning coaches on my team is someone who joined this just for the discount. And a lot of that came as I was posting in my team page, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I just got this message from this girl in my challenge group, and I'm like crying. I'm just so excited. Like, this business is awesome. And the thing is, like, passion and excitement for something is like magnetic. You know, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm totally missing out. You know, so if you're constantly sharing with them the things that you learned and the things that you're doing to grow this business, and you share that in your team page, with, I'm saying, discount coaches, or even with people who haven't really caught that vision yet, just sharing it in your private group, people start to see this is maybe doable for me, and maybe I could do this. Or, you know, you're kind of, I don't want to say reviving them, but you're inspiring them in that group setting, and compared to privately messaging people and saying, so have you changed your mind? Do you want to build this business? I think you'd be really great. And you do that too, maybe here and there, but I just think on a grand scale, your attitude is, I'm getting on that train and I'm doing this with or without you, so watch me or join me, you know, and that's going to bring all your team, elevate them. Make sure everyone is muted as you're hopping in. We'll kind of have Shay and Leslie, like, if I'm talking to that, or we'll kind of tag. I'm getting to 15 star. One thing we wanted to make sure and address is that you guys get to, okay, let's find the person who's talking.
Sorry, Brigitte, it won't let me mute because I'm not the admin.
Okay, let me find it on the last thing. It looks like every single person is muted. Sorry,
someone's calling in and there are little kids in the background. It sounds like you're in a car, so if you're listening to this, it might be you.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sure everyone's muted.
This is the issue with Zoom.
I know, right? The one downside of doing this on Zoom. But the other thing I wanted to kind of make sure, like, this is just an important thing for you to be sharing with your coaches as they're working to diamond. You know, that they get to realize it's very unlikely that it's going to happen with 8 coaches. But the other thing too is for you guys, as you're setting these goals for 5-star, 10-star, 15-star, you get to realize that you're going to get to 5-star and maintain 5-star with like 8 or 9 coaches who are diamond, personally sponsored diamonds. You're going to get to 10-star and hold it with like 12 or 13. And you're going to get to 15-star with like 18 or 19 personally sponsored diamonds. And I share that with you because I wish someone had shared that with me. Like, I got to 15-star with 15 personally sponsored diamonds, and I lost it on week 7. And it took me almost a year to get back to a place where I am now consistently a 15-star diamond coach every single week. But it took me a while to kind of build that back up. And so it's just important for you to realize, like, to do that, it's a great thing to push for it, and it may be unstable at the beginning. But for you to be getting the star diamond rank bonuses that we'll talk about in a minute, you need to set your eyes above that.
So can I interject here?
Yeah, that's why I paused.
Okay. So there's 2 parts to leadership. And I think a lot of times we recruit, at least people on my team, and I did this in the beginning too, is we'll recruit 1 to 3 people, and then nothing really happens, and we start doubting our own leadership. We start doubting ourselves. And I'm going to tell you, part of this rank advancement, part of the 5-star, 10-star, 15-star growing your business is recruiting. And not to be completely obvious, but this is network marketing. Having to network with people and build your business. So I want to create this perspective for you based on the last 3 years' top 10 coaches. So Melanie Mitro twice and Lindsay Matway once, okay? So Melanie has been a coach 4.5 years. Lindsay's been a coach 5.5 years. But let's just say 4 years. We're gonna like make this number really conservative. Let's say just 4 years they both have been coaching. They sponsor an average of 20 coaches a month. Probably more. They're probably more than that. But let's just be conservative and say 20 coaches a month, okay? That's 960 coaches they've sponsored in their lifetime in just 4 years, conservatively. Okay? If you're still with me, that is one. So I posted in my team page how they had 60 to 70 diamonds. And my team was like, whoa, that's crazy. And I said, well, let's put it in perspective. They've sponsored 960 people. If you do the math, that's 14%. I'm sorry, that's 7%. That is 1 out of 14 people. The top 10 coaches, Lindsay and Melanie, are recruiting. 1 out of 14 goes diamond. So think about that for a second. So if you're recruiting 1 or 2 a month, or you're recruiting maybe 10 a year, it's no wonder you may be getting frustrated because you haven't even hit that 14th person yet. And so you're questioning your leadership and why am I not a strong leader? Part of it is a numbers game. You've got to keep sponsoring and finding people, because if 1 out of 14 go diamond, it's even less than that hit 2-star, and even less than that hit 5-star. So I would challenge every single one of you first. The first part of this puzzle in growing your business is finding more people. Remember, find more people. So putting that in perspective, I would challenge every single one of you. If you're sponsoring 1 or 2, 3 people a month, that's great, but challenge yourself to double that, and then double that the next month. So that's the first part of growing your business, is finding enough people to hit those numbers. And those are conservative numbers from the top 10 coaches in this business.
So I'll kind of pop in here, because I know for me, it took me a while to learn how to sign a coach, right? And then to help them do something. So when I figured out how to sign coaches, like how to talk to people about coaching without like vomiting all over them, I kind of started to get in this groove, and talking to people got a lot easier. In fact, I was so in love with what I was doing with Beachbody. I was having a blast. I was on my fitness journey. I felt like a new woman, and I just thought, like, why is every like mom and wife not doing this with me? And so it kind of just became like my mission to just talk to more people about coaching. I was like, you should try this too. I just started, going through my friends list and asking friends that were already into fitness. And I was adding new people from groups, and I was, just adding people in general from other sites and mommy groups, you name it. I was looking to add to my network, meet new people, and eventually build a relationship, so that I was asking them about coaching, because I was maybe working myself towards a diamond coach. I knew I wanted that bad, but I wanted more than that. Because I was looking at other leaders in the network going like, I want to be 2-star, but I really want to be 5-star, and I want to be elite. And there were all these things I wanted. And it was like, how do I get there? I should recruit more, because I knew that I was going to have to find these leaders if I was going to get where I wanted to go. And I just remember along the way, a lot like Shay just told you guys, people would say like 1 in 10 would be a rock star. And it was like, all right, 1 in 10, huh? I guess I should sign like 10 or more coaches a month, because then I have a chance of finding more rock stars. Because I had previously been doing like a coach or 2 a month, like begging a friend or something. And that was not sustainable. I wasn't going to be able to do that for the rest of my life. And it wasn't all that inspiring either. So the moment I just kind of made that switch in my head, like, no one's off game, no preconceived notions. I'm going to ask everyone about coaching once, I have a little bit of a relationship with them. My recruiting numbers went up, and my business went up, and my volume went up. And the leaders that started coming out of my team, maybe they were even discount to start. We're like, she's recruiting a lot of coaches. What is she doing? Like, is this what we're supposed to be doing? And kind of that culture of recruiting started to build within my team. Everyone was like, well, I want to do that. I want to get recognized for Emerald, and I want to be Diamond. I want to be a lead. You guys set the tone for your team. What you do, your coaches will do. So keep that in mind as you build, as you recruit, as you give acknowledgement for what the leaders on your team are doing. Reward those behaviors. It's huge. I mean, even recognizing volume at the end of a week, recognizing those emeralds, those diamonds, making a big deal about someone who signed, 3 coaches that week. If that's big for your team, recognize it, because other coaches are sitting in your team page watching and going, why can't I do that? Or I want to do that. And maybe they reach out to you. So just some things to keep in mind for your team page.
I love it. Okay, guys, so kind of moving forward in this call, we're going to go over a couple nitty-gritty details on like things that you need to be looking for, because for you moving into this next level leadership, you've got to know this business. Like, you need to understand volume. You need to understand the sponsorship drill down and things that you're looking for as you're pulling reports. You get to understand the significance of a second business center and coach placement. And just little things that you're looking for as you're in Star Diamond qualifications. And some of the things I'm going to talk about, you may feel are elementary, but yet, at least for me, I feel some of it is elementary. But at the same time, I'm also surprised when there's a multi-star diamond coach who's going through qualification and they don't make it. And then as I'm talking with them, I find out it's something that was such an honest slip up in them not being aware of some of the rules or regulations. So we're going to go over that real quick, and then we're going to talk about how you can work with your coaches and little tips and tricks for strengthening them and building them. So I'm going to do a quick screen share over a little PowerPoint, because I'm such a visual person, so you get to humor me with my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, now, again, some of this you may totally know and be like, okay, I get this, but you do definitely need to understand coach placement, okay, what the far and wide strategy is. Your job as a sponsor is to make sure when your coaches sign up a new coach that you're helping them understand this, like what it means to have a coach on the left and a coach on the right. Now, one of the things that you get to do as a sponsor is to go underneath the My Business tab, my downline, graphical genealogy, so you see this image where it shows the tree graphical genealogy. Now, I feel that it's best, and Leslie and Shay can kind of give pushback, or you can reach out to your sponsor and see if there's different recommendations that they give. But I think it's best as you're teaching your coaches to tell them to use the set preferred placement so that they can literally click on the little image of where they want their next person to go. This is a way that I've done it, and I've never had a mistake. In the last 3.5 years, every single coach that I wanted to sign up in a certain spot went exactly where I wanted them to go. If you have questions on this, just ask me in a team page, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on coach placement. But I do also want to point out that in the top left-hand corner of this image, you see the preferred placement tab. There's also the search tab. It is really important for you to do a search for your coaches' coaches. When they sign up a coach and say, yes, they went on the right side, okay? No, they didn't. Explain to them how they can do a transfer and get someone moved over to a different spot. If you search for the name there, it shows you where in the graphical genealogy that person is placed. And then there's a little blue arrow above that person's head in this image where you can go up and see who's above them or who's to the side, and just be aware of what's going on, because you are a business owner. And so these are the things you need to be paying attention to. Now, going to 15 star, just building your business, you're going to get a lot of feedback on, should you do a 2-to-1 ratio? Should you do even legs? Leslie shared that, she's got an even leg scenario. I didn't ask you, Shay, what your breakdown is, 2-to-1. Honestly, there's benefits to both. And so this is where you just get to choose what works best for you and what's unique for you based on where you were placed in the graphical genealogy by your sponsor. So reach out to your sponsor and see kind of where you were placed, and look at underneath the My Business tab, click on My Volume, and see what does this look like for you, where do you have the most momentum so you know where to focus, okay? I can tell you for myself, my first business center, I totally stacked my weak leg. I think I was like a 4-star diamond coach with 5 active coaches on my left leg. And then I had like 7 personally sponsored diamonds on my right, because I totally stacked it at the beginning because I could. And so I was like a 4-star diamond coach with 7 personally sponsored diamonds, but I had focused on one side to drive volume and drive my income. But then I knew that I wanted to be elite. I wanted to get to 5-star and continue growing, because I knew as I continued moving up rank, I would attract more serious business builders into my business. And that's why we say rank leads and your volume follows. So, and then it moved to a place where my legs are even. And then I kind of had to continue stacking one side so that I could get to 10-star and 15-star. And this stuff you guys should know, like the first coach ranks, but just some of the details that I'm kind of surprised people don't always know, so you get to know it because you are a leader, is that there are different volume requirements for the different ranks. So it is really important for you to know that there is, as you can see on this screenshot, 100 personal volume requirement to be a diamond coach. And there is a 200 volume requirement to be a star diamond coach. So if you sign up, one of your coaches who goes diamond, you've got 10 personally sponsored coaches, and you are not a star diamond coach, save your time, don't call coach relations, check, see if you have the personal volume requirement. Now, this does not mean that you need to start ordering extra product to be a diamond coach, to be a star diamond coach. Your personal volume comes from 2 things. It comes from personal orders and comes from customer orders. Everything in Beachbody has that volume point associated with it. You guys know Shakeology has 90 volume points, 21 Day Fix has 45 volume points. Everything goes, is cumulative, and based on a rolling 5 weeks, however much volume has come from personal orders, from customer orders, gives you your personal volume requirement. So of course you're going to have 200 volume unless you signed up all of your customers as discount coaches to kind of get there. Then you need to kind of be watching that. You can see this on your home screen. So when you get on your into your Coach Online office, and then top left-hand side, well, I guess it's on the medium, in the middle, I'm saying, it tells you your projected customer personal volume. So you can watch and see that for yourself. But this is one of the things that you're looking for as you're doing a sponsorship drill down every single week. Like, you are a business owner, you're the CEO of your company. There is no excuses. If one of your coaches drops rank, you should not be surprised come Thursday. You should be the first one to know. Your job is to kind of reach out to that coach and say, hey, just a heads up, this is going to happen. What can I do to support you to avoid this? Okay. But one of the things you're looking at is their projected customer volume, their personal volume. It is actually the very first column after their rank in the sponsorship drill down, so that you can see, does this diamond have 100 PV? Do they have 200 PV? That's the very first thing that I check in my sponsorship drill down every single week when I'm making sure that I'm going to hold rank, that my coaches are going to hold rank. Now, just again, more details. As far as star diamond rank, I know some of you are not quite yet there. Just know you do have to be you have to be a diamond yourself, which means you have at least 8 active coaches, you have 100 personal volume points. You have to personally sponsor a diamond coach. To be star diamond, you have to have 200 personal volume points, and your number of active PS coaches does increase to 10. And then moving on past that, it does continue to increase. Now, 2-star, you do have to have 1 diamond on both legs. And then from there on, it doesn't matter. You can have 1 and 3 to be 4-star if you want. But moving to 5-star, that's kind of the next plateau you have to move past. You have to have at least 2 personally sponsored diamonds on both legs. And then to 10-star, there's another jump where you have to have at least 5 personally sponsored diamonds on each side. Now, this is important for you to know. And it may, for some of you, your sponsors talk to you about this, you know this. But here's the thing, as a leader, these are also things that you are being detailed in explaining it to your team, okay? Because you don't, trust me, it has happened where I've seen coaches who have 10 personally sponsored diamonds. They get all the way to that point, but yet they had 4 in, let's say, 6, and they're not 10-star, and they're messaging the VIP coach relations page asking why. So don't be that person. Now, this is not something that you have to totally memorize. I just want to point out that it is in the policies, procedures, and when you're in your home page or any page in your Coach Online office, I want you guys to notice when you scroll down to the very bottom, there's a small row of hyperlinks, and one of them says policies and procedures. You know, you're kind of far in this business. You're serious about this business. It would be a good thing to read this document at this point and be familiar with what the rules are, what the regulations are, because it's up to you to be sharing that with your team at this point. So I would encourage you to kind of read through that stuff. Okay, and kind of flying through, again, you can ask any questions in the team page. These are just things that, nitty-gritty details I feel it's important for you to know so you can strengthen your organization, but also with your leaders. And I just want to explain what the qualification period looks like so you're not like frustrated when you don't, hit a certain rank. You need to hit a rank and hold it, have all of the qualifications in place consecutively for 6 weeks until it's official. So you may see shout outs from me or from Shay or Leslie or some of these other coaches who will say, congratulations to my coach, they're 6-star qualifying. And that means that they have just started their 6-week trial period where they have to hold it. Everything has to be consistent. And after 6 weeks, then it's official. But that's when it's considered a lifetime rank. A lifetime rank is the highest rank that you have hit in your lifetime of being a coach. They do count the first week that you start, and so it kind of catches people off guard thinking, but they can't count to 6, but I promise it's not that hard. One thing that it's important for you to know is Diamond is not like the end-all be-all. It is the starting point. I know for myself, getting to Diamond, I was probably one of the few who got to Diamond with no business builders. And yes, you heard me correctly on that. I had 0 business builders, and I was a Diamond coach. And that happened because I just muted someone, but still kind of can hear a couple people. Okay. Okay, make sure you mute yourself if you jump on a video, okay? Or jump on here. It's a little distracting, I'll be honest. Okay, so Star Diamond quarterly bonuses. As I was saying, when I signed up and I got to Diamond initially, I had no people building the business. And that happened in that I had my husband as a coach, and I signed him up with 2 discount coaches underneath him. And then my sister reached out to me and was like, my husband and my sister-in-law both want to do this group with you. We both want to sign up. And I'm like, okay, well, you sign up first because you're the one who called me first, and we'll sign them up underneath you so you can get a referral fee. And so she was an Emerald coach, and she didn't even know what that meant. Like, she didn't even realize that she was an Emerald coach. And so I understood, though, that I didn't make it. I wasn't all of a sudden going to be reaching my goals because I was a Diamond coach. I looked at it as, if I can just get to Diamond, then people will take me seriously. Like, then people will see that I'm serious about this business. And you better believe that I was acting like I was the end-all be-all, doing the humble brag on Facebook because guess what? I'm a Diamond coach. That means I know what I'm doing. So you should join my team. And yet there wasn't a single person building on my team, but I totally took advantage of it. And that's the attitude and the actions that you take to grow this business compared to getting to Diamond and saying, okay, I've made it. Now I just need to make sure and maintain what I've got. There is no maintaining. If you're not growing, you're moving back. So one of the first goals that you should set is not Diamond, 2-star Diamond, okay? As you get to 2-star, you've solidified your business. You have a foundation with builders and people, on either side. You're not going to drop rank. You're not going to go below Diamond. And also, you get to take advantage of the Star Diamond quarterly bonus. So Beachbody takes aside 2% of all of the team bonus cycles that have been earned in a quarter, and they distribute it against everyone who is qualified. So in that 2%, they take half of 1%, so 0.5%, and they give it to every coach who has been a 2-star diamond for at least 6 weeks in that quarter. And then they take another 0.5% and give it to all of the 5-star diamonds who have held it for 6 weeks in that quarter, another 0.5% to the 10-star and above, and another 0.5% to the 15-star above. The cool thing about this is if you're a 10-star, you qualify for 3 different pools for that star diamond bonus. So on average, and this is a big there's no guarantees because you never know how many people are in that pool, and you also don't know how much has been made by the company that quarter. But I will tell you that the 2-star bonus has been around $900 to $1,000 on the high end. The average 5-star bonus has been about $2,500 to $3,500. The 10-star bonus has been about $14 to $17. And the 15-star quarterly bonus has been about $35 to $45 on the high end. So this is a big thing that you want to be driving for. This is money that's being put out on the table that you should be claiming because you deserve it, okay? All right. You guys kind of know team cycle bonuses. Just a couple other random things that you get to know because you are the leader, you're the CEO of this company, is that you are capped on how much money you're going to make from the volume beneath you coming from your team based on your rank. So you could sign up Lindsay Matway on one side and Melanie Mitchell on the other side and have 1 million volume points on one leg and 2 million volume points on the other leg. And if you are only an Emerald coach, those are the only 2 people that you sign up, it doesn't matter how much volume that they bring in, you are only going to make $250 a week on that volume. And here's the thing, because you could cycle 1 million and 2 million and that could go together, it's not like you're going to roll over for the rest of your life and just continue making $250 for eternity because it rolls over. That's not the case. It's wiped out. It's done. It's saying you could have made more money, but you only are going to get $250 because you're an Emerald coach. It does bump up to $1,000 as a ruby, $2,000 as a diamond, and then continues to $3,000 for 1 star and above. I kind of remember the cap as 2 above what it is. So if you're a 1 star, 1 plus 2 is $3,000, so you cap at 3. If you're a 5-star, 5 plus 2 is 7, so you cap at $7,000. Just as an easy way to remember it. But the thing with this that's also important to know is you are cycling daily. And that's something I didn't fully understand actually until last year. But you cycle daily, so you can't really just take the grand total from your left volume and from your right volume and do that 2-to-1 ratio to determine what your team cycle bonuses are going to be because they're cycling every single day. And that's important as your business continues to grow because you all will get to a point where you're going to max out with 96 cycles per day maximum. And that's important in, say, the end of the month when 80% of all coach orders come out on the 29th of the month and you get a bazillion volume on that one day, but yet the other days you didn't have a whole lot of volume coming through. You're only going to get 96 cycles on that big heavy day, and the other days you may not have as much cycles. Does that make sense? Everyone's head thumbs up, making sense here? Okay, let me just kind of jump forward to carryover volume. And really, I guess I need to cut this short because we need to get to how to work with your coaches. I do just want you guys to kind of look at this, and this is an important thing for you to look at with your coaches. So underneath the My Business tab, go to My Volume and go to Carryover Volume. And then you'll see what this little screenshot here beneath looks like. And you'll see the carryover volume amount on your left volume, on your left leg, and on your right leg. Now this is money that's in the bank. You just haven't been able to withdraw it yet. So it's important for you to kind of point that out to your coaches and say, do you realize if you just got some more builders on your other leg, you could start tapping into this volume here. If you've got, say, 5,000 extra volume points on your right leg and you just get to build your left leg, you know, that's money that you're missing out on. So this is a good thing for you if you're working with an Emerald coach to kind of point out to them on one, why they want to stay active, because if you drop to inactive status, your carryover volume is wiped out. It's gone. Carryover volume is just volume that was accumulated from your team that you didn't cycle through. So, you know, maybe you had 96 volume points left over, so you didn't have a full 100, or you had 500 on one side and only 100, so you only used 200 from this right side. 300 goes into your bank. It gets carried over. But 2 was the last thing, and kind of go over how to work with your coaches. It's important for you to know as well as a leader that there is a point when you're going to have a master flush. And so I just wanted to explain this. And in this same area where you go to my business, my volume, carryover volume, you can see this column that says your lifetime cycles. Now your lifetime cycles show you how many times you have cycled since you started as a coach. So once you have had 5,000 lifetime cycles, then they wash out the volume, they clear it out, so you have a maximum of 500 volume on your strong leg, and then they keep all the volume on your weak leg if you have a strong and a weak. Or they just take the highest one down to 5 and kind of leave the other side. So those are master flushes. Just a couple things. I'll post this in the team little group that we have. But as a leader, I want you guys to kind of do a check on this list here and make sure you know all of these things in your drill down. Because as you are strengthening your organization, it comes from being aware of what's going on. And if you're not paying attention to your drill down, you're not paying attention to what's going on in that coach online office, you're not watching coach placement, you're not watching like the volume, you're just not going to get there. You're not going to get to the higher level ranks. You're not going to earn as much money as you possibly can. And so this is the time where you pull your head out of the sand and start paying attention and say, it is important for me to understand this business and to understand what's going on, because I need to know the most strategic way to help, you know, paint that vision of what's possible for my coaches. I mean, the reality is if you don't make it through qualification, it is nobody else's fault but yours. Like you can't say, well, my coaches should care about Diamond, so, you know, I didn't make it to 5-star because my coaches just, you know, they knew it was important to keep rank. It is 100% your responsibility that every single week you're checking your sponsorship drill down, reaching out to coaches if they're going to drop rank, reaching out to coaches if they're going inactive. There should never be any surprises because you're watching this, you're aware of what's going on. And really, I just feel that that's a pivotal thing for you to get to the higher ranks in this business. So those are the main things I wanted to share on that part. And then we wanted to move into working with your coaches and some of the conversations that you can have. Shay, do you want to kind of go from here and share your strategy for how you know who to work with?
Yes. So one of the things I wanted to add to what Brigitte just said, and can you all tell Brigitte to pick the short straw having to do all that? Thank you, Brigitte. That was awesome. Your slides were really good. I screenshot a lot of them. Thank you. When she's talking about doing your drill down and checking your drill down, whether you're qualifying, I will tell you that needs to be done. I have my team or ask my team to do it on Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's still kind of iffy because there's some Shakeology orders that haven't gone through. But you do not want to wait until Tuesday or Wednesday to start looking at your drill down to see where your people are. I personally look at it every Sunday, and I pretend the last day of the week is Tuesday night because there's always something that happens that screws it up, and you don't want to wait until the last minute to do it. So really have the mindset, Sunday, check it, pretend Tuesday is the last day of the week. Okay, with that being said, I work typically, as I sponsor people, I breadcrumb and give them something new to work for. And as people meet me halfway, actually I think I was having a call with Alicia yesterday about this. you want to work with the willing. And there's a very big difference, especially as you're a new coach, and I did this too, between enabling and empowering your team and your new coaches. And it's so easy to want to enable people, because especially when you have a brand new coach, you're like, oh, I don't want them to fall through. I don't want them to lose interest. I don't want to lose them. And you almost smother them, letting you know, I'm here for you. And I would really challenge you to think twice about that and have a positive posture and give them a task before they earn your time on the next call or before they earn the next task. And what that does as leaders, just like with when you test with kids, it has them rise up to each level that you give them. And the people that tend to do the most on their own are the ones that are most resourceful and do the best in this business. So if you're enabling your coaches, you're actually doing them a disservice, because you want everything to be duplicatable. So if my coach is saying and giving me everything I need to know and doing everything for me, as my team grows, I'm going to think, oh my gosh, I don't want to work as hard as my sponsor. She was there for me 24/7. And now you're thinking you have to be there for your people 24/7. And that's not leadership. They're going to look at you and be like, I don't want to work that hard. I have a full-time job. I've got 2 kids. I don't want to work that hard. So everything in your business, guys, has to be duplicatable. Give someone a task, have them rise to the task. Give them another task and have them rise to it. That will keep your sanity, and that will keep you able to focus on finding more people. So when I have those people that are rising to that level, and I'm not having to pull them along and talk them into showing up on calls, they're just doing it. They're active in my team page. They're offering advice. They're jumping in when people are asking questions. Those are your natural leaders. I will work with 4 people typically at a time. And I'll say, okay, over the next 12 weeks, what 4 people want to go diamond? Because I'm going to work with you specifically on reaching that goal. So I went from 5-star to 15-star in a year. And it was because literally every quarter I had a new round of diamonds come through. I had 4 and then 4 more and then 4 more and then 4 more. And I was able to give them that one-on-one and that group attention in a smaller scale. But I would say for you guys, even if you have one person setting those goals and having them elevate their skill sets to meet the bar that you keep setting for them, that's leadership. Okay. And it makes everything more duplicatable and your time more manageable.
I guess I'll just throw in something, and we kind of mentioned this on our call, and I think it made sense for all of us, but one of the books that I read this last year is called The 12-Week Concept. And I just want to kind of throw that in here, because I think as we sign up coaches, it's so often to have someone who joins your business and says, okay, I want to be diamond. I want to do this. My end of the year goal is to be a diamond coach. Your response as a sponsor is to say, diamond is not that hard. Diamond takes 90 days. It does not take a year. And so it's important for you to give that pushback and set the expectations that this is not going to be a big, huge, hard thing to do. Tell someone go emerald in 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks go emerald again, and in 90 days they're going to be a diamond coach. But the concept of this book that I read is saying that when you set a deadline for a goal, you hit that goal in the last 20% of the time allotted. So if you give yourself a year to say, I'm going to be a diamond coach, and you're really, really committed to that goal, you're going to get it done in the last 12 weeks of the year. It's just realistic facts. It's just the way we are. You know, if you've got a deadline of, I've got to get this school project done, you're going to get it done the night before. So set your deadlines for the year to actually a 12-week period. And I just think for everyone saying, okay, we just had New Year's resolutions, take those goals that you set for the year and shorten it up and say, I'm going to get this done in 12 weeks, because the truth is that's all the amount of time that it takes. And that's how long you're going to take at the end of the year. Shorten it up. But for you as sponsors, do the same thing with your coaches and say 90 days, 12 weeks is all it's going to take for you to be a diamond coach. And you're not being selfish to encourage your coaches to be successful. Everyone joined your team because they wanted to be successful. So for you to kind of say, this is what you want to do, Diamond is a stepping stone for you to get there. So yes, I'm going to hold you accountable because that's what you asked me to do. I see so many coaches who feel like, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to tell my coaches to get to Diamond just because they're going to think all I care about is my rank. And it's not true. It's just not true. Like, if you want your coaches to be successful, hold them accountable and say, I know this is important to you, so I'm going to push you. I'm going to tell you the uncomfortable things because maybe you're not taking the action steps to get there. And so time for a gut check.
So I want to add something. Actually, Leslie, you go ahead. I think you.
Yeah, I'm talking too much.
I was muted after Shay finished, and I was like, and I'm talking to myself. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that we focus a lot as a business on Diamond, but you'll even notice even the national wake-up calls now have shifted. And it's those star diamonds who get recognition on the national call. So Diamond is an amazing goal. And it is that first goal. Like Brigitte said, I felt like when I hit Diamond, I sort of was like, I've arrived, right? Like, you make a big deal about it because most of your Facebook friends have no idea what you're talking about, and they're probably pretty excited for you. They think it's cool. They have no idea what it means. So for me, continuing to rank advanced was just another way to be like, I'm still doing it. And it's the same thing for you guys, especially even giving your team shout outs. So for me, that first big goal was like going for 2-star diamond. I wanted to be a star diamond, a 2-star diamond. At first I had thought I'll go for a premier. And then when I hit 2-star in like March or April, it was like, I have to go for elite now. Like, I have all this year left, right? Like Brigitte mentioned, I didn't wait those last 12 weeks of the year to make it happen. And I'm telling you guys right now, those last 12 weeks, that fourth quarter of the year, it's not like the most fun time to be pushing for really huge goals. So do it now. But make that point in your business, in your mind right now, to just say like, I'm going to be a 2-star diamond coach. And maybe it's by the cruise, maybe it's by summit, maybe it's by your husband's birthday. It doesn't matter what the date is, but pick it and put a date on it. If you're not diamond yet, put a date on that too. And it better not be like December 1st. You definitely don't need that much time. But the faster that you can build in this business and bring more people in and attract more leaders. And same thing, I felt like, if I was a diamond coach or I was a star diamond coach, like my words just carried more weight. And it was easier for me to begin to build and find more leaders who wanted to do what I did. And when they came to me and said, like, I want to be successful in this business, I want to do what you do, I took that serious. Like, we're now in a partnership here together. I'm not their boss. I'm not going to like tell you what to do, but I'm going to help you and mentor you along the way so that you can have success. And you will hear like from half your coaches, I want to be diamond, but you're looking for activity over words. You know, if they begin to recruit, they start to sign coaches, they're running challenge groups, they're hitting Success Club, that's really good indications of like someone that you should be spending your time with. Someone who's constantly all talk and no action, probably going to want to give them a little less time. And really work with those people that are meeting you halfway. That's the biggest thing in this business. Tons of people will come in to your business. We've talked about that 1 in 10 or the 1 in 14. Lots of people are going to come into your business, and not everyone is cut out to be like a girl boss, CEO, or a boy boss. I think we have some men on here, CEO of their own business. So it's really kind of up to you to use that little intuition and think about, who are those next leaders on my team? Who deserves more time? Who's hitting Success Club 5? Who's hitting Success Club 10? Who's hitting Success Club 20? Who signed 3 coaches last week? Those are the coaches that you might want to run a small group push to diamond with, or do a little one-on-one mentoring to help them get going. But when someone comes into this business and says, I want to be successful, it's emerald and then diamond, and we're picking dates and we're running for it. And we're going to help make this happen for you, because I know how coaching has changed my life. I figure it's just up to me to help pay that forward and help as many people as possible be successful. So, you know, as either Shay or Brigitte mentioned today, it's not rank and building like into multi-star diamond isn't like a selfish act. There are plenty of other coaches on my team now who are 2, 5, 15 star diamond coaches because they wanted the exact same things that I've been able to create in this business. So if you run for the stars, that is exactly what your team will follow you to go do.
So I'm going to, do you have anything else to add? Because I don't want to cut you off.
No, I'm good.
Thank you. I am going to add the third perspective to this whole diamond thing because I love what Brigitte said and I love what Leslie said. So I'm going to add a third perspective, and I know pretty much every woman on this call will get this, and the guys will too from the reverse side. When people are dating, right? We've all dated somebody, and maybe you're dating 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 years. What does everybody ask you? Oh my God, when are you going to get married? When do you get married? And if you're the girl, you're probably like looking at your boyfriend like, when am I going to get my ring? And the guy's rolling his eyes like, oh my God, that's like a really big commitment. That's a really big deal, right? You could be dating for 10 years and people aren't really going to take you seriously because you're not engaged. You don't have that diamond ring, right? But once you're engaged and you're working towards marriage, that is the business equivalent of you guys getting your diamond. People will take you seriously. People on social media will take you seriously. They'll realize you're not somebody selling press-on nails and mascara. They realize this girl's legit. They don't know you maybe only made $18 that week. You're a diamond coach. You're engaged to your business. You're locked down. You're loaded. You're serious. And your relationship with Beachbody is serious. That's what diamond does. It engages you to your business and makes people take you more seriously. So you're going to attract people that will take you seriously. That's the perception that I really like to get, because I think every woman here gets that, right?
So star diamond marriage.
Yeah. And I will say this, even when you've got your 2-star, if you've got your 2 kids, you can fall back and your marriage can fall apart at any time. You have to continue to work at it. This is just like a marriage. You have to continue to work at the relationships and build your business, because the diamond is not the end of the road. Just like once you're married, it's not the end of the road. It continue to work. So one of the perceptions I like to give is this: when people are like, yeah, but I don't want to push my coaches. It makes it about them. It makes it about them and me and whatever. I'm really big on words. And one of the things I learned, I have a degree in psychology, is the word choice you use can really empower people or it can frustrate people. So you will never hear me say, let's do a push to diamond group. Nobody likes to be pushed, right? I don't like to be pushed. I like to be challenged. I like to elevate, but I will say, let's do a rise to diamond group, because you know what? I want to rise up to diamond. Heck to the yeah. But as a leader, if you're talking to your team and you're feeling like using words like, let's push, it creates a perception of resistance. But elevating, rising, empowering are all words that change the mindset towards lifting them up to another level, not pushing them to get there. And it just creates the spirit of empowerment and the mindset that they can do it. Another word that I will suggest is, if you're speaking to people, don't say the word why. Well, why did you do this? Or how? Because that reminds us, and don't do this with your husbands either, by the way. It reminds us of when we're kids and our mother's like, well, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? And why did you get an F on your homework? So instead of saying why, when you speak to your team and you're asking them questions on their different choices that they're making, how come? How come you thought this was the best option? Share with me how come that was the best option. Little words like that as leaders that you use with your team will speak to them in an empowering way that will rise them up, or will speak to them like you feel like you're their manager and you're managing them. Small words like that. And here's my last tip, and then this is all I got. As far as leadership, a lot of times I'll hear coaches say, you know, I don't have all the answers. I'm kind of scared of leadership because people are going to look to me and I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. And here's the good news that's going to let every single one of you off the hook. When people ask you a question, know this. Everybody knows the answer. Deep down, they know the answer to their question. Your job as a leader is not to give them the answer. It's not to have the answer. It's not to tell them the answer. Your job is to help them discover it. So when they ask you what they think you should do about placing their spouse, well, tell me what you understand about coach placement and let's talk through it. That way you're helping them learn and become independent thinkers in their own business. How should I answer this customer that says Shakeology is too expensive? Well, share with me what you've discussed with them and what you think their big holdup is. All you've got to do is put everything back in a question to let them dig a little deeper. That makes leadership so much easier because you don't have to have the answers. You help them figure it out. All right, I'll pass it off to you guys.
I love it. Okay, so someone had asked in the group, and I said we'd maybe take a couple of questions. How many coaches did you have on your team when you started to run your own team page? So I will tell you that I was still an Emerald, and I maybe had 8 or 10 coaches, and I was like, I'm going to fly the coop. Like, I just needed to stand on my own 2 feet, be the leader that I wanted to be, and they were mostly discount, and they were really into their fitness, but it gave me really good practice to just get out there and do it and to see what that felt like. And I still stayed in that little, the safe parent team page, but it was like, if she can post that, I can just take that and post it in my own team page, put my spin on it, put my graphic with it, put my voice into it. But my coaches were starting to hear from me. And down the line, along the way, I had coaches that I remember Anita Myron, I kid you not, she had 4 coaches. She was like, I'm getting my own team page. Everyone will be different. It will really depend on their personality. We're going to talk about that on Monday. But it's kind of fun to watch your coaches bloom and, kind of leave the nest. And maybe I'm just speaking for me. Maybe Shay and Brigitte will back me up. But I love when my coaches are like, I'm ready to go run with this. And they take off and go do their team page. I'm like, yes, they get it. So what were you guys like when you left and did your own team page?
Well, I think, for me, it just comes down to even what Shay's last question was, that if a sponsor is asking you, should I be changing, going off to my own team page, ask them, be like, what do you feel? How do you feel in your heart? What do you think? Because it is a personal thing. I don't remember exactly when I did, but I do know it was pretty early on. But my sponsor didn't have a team page just for his coaches. It was only his sponsor's big team page at the time. And so I just felt like, well, this isn't really even my sponsor's team. This is my sponsor's sponsors. And so I wanted to have a place for my coaches. So just turn it back on your sponsors, or even for yourself. The answer, you're really just asking for permission. So we give you permission. If you're feeling you need to, you have our permission to do it, really. And I don't know what other questions, but one other thing I just wanted to kind of tack on to Shay's input that she was sharing, just as far as when you're having a conversation with your coach. One thing that I want to encourage you to do as well is to make sure when you end every conversation to remind them and leave that conversation with their why. So as a sponsor, the best thing that you can do is to find out what your coaches really, really want and to remind them that it is possible, that it really can happen. So every single little conversation, I like to say, I can't wait to see, you reach this goal and for your husband to be home with your family. And isn't it going to be so exciting when you can leave your job and do this full time, and just putting them in the future moment when it's a reality, And so talking about that's going to feel so good. And aren't you just so excited for when you have that money for that down payment on that car that you've been wanting? I just can't wait to see you doing this. Or I'll say things like, I can see the post now. I'm envisioning it now. I can't wait to give you this shout out, reminding them of that so they feel that burning passion within, that they're like, oh my gosh, nothing else matters. I'm like on fire. I can do this. I'm ready to go, you know, like reminding them of their why in every single conversation. That's your job as a sponsor. And I kind of want to say it's the most important thing that you can do. But back to questions. And really, we don't have how many questions were there? Because we're kind of running out of time. Okay, go ahead. You're muted again, though. Leslie.
I got it. Sorry. There was only one question. How easy was that?
Oh, okay. Awesome.
We did it.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back in the group page, you know, posting stuff. We'll post the slides. You guys can ask questions in there if there's anything else. But Leslie, you want to kind of close up the call? We'll let you wrap it up.
Sure.
Motivational thoughts.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys being here so much. And really, truly, this group and being here with all of you, and honestly, just teaming up with all of these amazing superstars has been a dream for us. I remember when we did our first Zoom call with all 11 of us, we literally sat there as we hashed out topics and we were like, I want to be on that one and I want to be on that one. And we were all making plans to be on here learning right alongside of you. And I just think that is proof that you never stop learning and you never stop growing in this business. You can always be better. You can always be learning more, and you can always like find a way to elevate, to up your game. So we hope that we have brought a little bit of that to your business today and just given you some things to think about as you run forward. You have an entire year, months left ahead of you to go on and crush some absolutely amazing goals. And there is only maybe one thing standing in your way as to why you can't achieve it. And it might just be that bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why it can't happen. Knock it out. I said it in my video when we started this group, but what if you did the rest of this month with no fear? What if you do the rest of the year with no fear and just run at it? You can accomplish amazing things when you just put your mind to it and go off and do it. So we will be back in the group tomorrow with a fun little assignment for you guys. And I think we're ready to just rock our last week of this. We have one more week left next week.